All right, today we are looking at the next set of previews from the Fantastic Four upcoming set. We're going to be looking at Skrull General, Sandman, Wizard, and Doctor Doom. Okay, let's get right to it. Taking a look at their sculpts, the General, we've seen that sculpt before. Still looks pretty cool with the ray gun. Doctor Doom looks like he is determined with the flowing cape and marching in, so that's pretty cool. But the ones that I like the best, Sandman. Check out the attention to detail where one of his feet is actually the sand coming up out of the ground. I think that looks great. Of course, once we see what it looks like in real life, we'll see how close to the render this gets. And Wizard flying in looks great. He hasn't been in clicks for a while, and quite an improvement from his previous sculpt that you see there. Okay, let's look at Skrull General first. He is set number 40, coming in with Skrulls and Soldier keywords. His first trait is Invasion Plans, which is when a friendly character uses shape change and succeeds, the attacker can't choose a new target with the Skrull keyword. This is pretty cool. Keep in mind, you don't necessarily need to play them on a Skrull theme team. I would try to find a soldier or even a wild card that has some of that improved shape change, special abilities and traits where they might get a bonus roll, maybe succeed on a 4 to 6 or anything else that can bump up that shape change roll, and use that as your main attacker backed up with a army of Skrull teammates. That way, if the main attacker gets that shape change roll, the opponent can't target anybody else. So that could be pretty devastating and throw off your opponent's whole game plan if they can't target your team. That would put a little bit of a bump in the road for them. His second thing is his special attack power or deep damage power. It's on his first 3 clicks. It's deploying infiltrating pods to key locations. That gives them leadership, and friendly characters with the Skrull keyword have underground team ability or underworld team ability. That's pretty good on a 30-point character to have leadership throughout the dial, and picking up 5 clicks of life for 30 points with the ability to completely hinder the way that your opponent can target people for that point value. That's super good. Let's take a look at his dial. He comes in with a 6 range single target, outwit on the or stealth on the first 3 clicks, some willpower on those clicks, along with his special damage power. 10 attack to start with is decent. On a 30-point character, it's good. And that 6 range on 30 points is pretty good too. Has the willpower on his actual click 1, 2, and 3. So being able to move and then do something the next turn will be useful. And then having the underworld team ability that allows you to carry people. So you put an army of these guys together, they can have a lot of movement options and different ways to get in there. This could be pretty fun to play, and depending on the creativity of the build, that could see a lot of different options with this character. It has improved movement hindering to go on top of everything else. So for 30 points, great value in my opinion. Okay, coming in next is Sandman. He has the Frightful 4 keyword and Sinister Syndicate. His first trait is Frightful 4 Dune Sandstorm. Unique modifier, opposing characters modify damage -1 when making a close attack that targets a friendly character with the Frightful 4 keyword. So we looked at some other Frightful 4 traits, and each one so far has been slightly different. So you put a team of these characters together and it's going to be having multiple effects on your opponent. The second one is his special attack power, which is Sandblast, gives him Quake, Smoke Cloud. When Sandman uses Smoke Cloud after resolutions, he can use Quake at no cost, but may also target any opposing characters occupying or adjacent to his hindering markers regardless of adjacency. He has that on his first 4 clicks, so that is pretty good. Smoke Cloud, let's take a look at it. Remember, it's a power action, so you cannot charge and Smoke Cloud. He has charge on his first 2 clicks, but he could charge in Quake, and then next turn he'll be in there. He can do his Smoke Cloud and let it spread out. If somebody bases him, he could also Smoke Cloud first, and that Smoke Cloud, minimum range of 4, he has 4 as his range, and you can generate up to 6 markers. So, and they all have to be within that range, but that smoke can kind of spread out, and then he can Quake not only the person he's next to, but then everybody that's in or next to his Smoke Cloud markers. So depending on the way your opponent is set up, that could allow you to target a bunch of different opposing characters, which is great. He has some shape change on those first 4 clicks also, which will come in handy. Should you base him up, then he could, or even if you TK him in, he could have a rollout chance, and he also has impervious on his top click, which gives him an additional rollout should somebody try to attack him with things other than penetrating damage. He'll get his shape change and impervious roll. Then he'll be in there for the Smoke Cloud and hitting multiple characters. He has improved movement hindering, coming in with a 4 range single target, 10 movement charge, 11 attack, 17 defense, and 3 damage on his top click. He keeps that 17 defense throughout with a reducer on every click, coming in at 75 points, has the Minions of Doom team ability, so giving him the chance, if he KOs somebody, he can heal. The charge gives him that 5 movement, and then he can attack, or you can just move him in to tie up and then Smoke Cloud afterwards. He doesn't have willpower, so if you did want to move him and then attack the next turn, you would have to push to do that. But depending on how many targets he can get, that might be worth it. Middle dial, he's moving to sidestep with his special attack power. And on his last 2 clicks, he picks up Pulse Wave, which could be good. That's why I would lean towards using him as a tie-up. I wouldn't be too hesitant about throwing him in there. If he takes a 1 solid hit, then he'll be on those Pulse Wave clicks at the end, which gives him a different way to take out multiple or ding multiple opponents. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We have Dr. Doom coming in at 95 points or 45 points. He is set number 21. He has an additional point cost. You can add 5 points to get Why Do All Your Robots Look Like You Again? I don't see why you wouldn't play this 5 points if you have the figures that goes with it, because this is a very cool ability or a cool add-on. When placing characters during game setup, place Dr. Doom on this card and generate 2 number 5 Doombots in your starting area. Now, we haven't seen the Doombots yet, so we'll be eagerly awaiting what they bring to the table. This game, when a friendly Doombot is KO'd, you may immediately place Dr. Doom from this card into their square, and must do so if no other friendly number 5 Doombot is on the map. So basically you can throw out the 2, put Doom on the card, those 2 are on the map. If the first one gets KO'd, you could choose to bring in Doom right then, or you can wait, and when the second one gets KO'd, then you don't have a choice anymore because the second one's gone. So you can put Doom on the map at that point. While Dr. Doom is on this card, the Doombots can use leadership. So you're getting two Doombots out there, Doom stays on the card, the Doombots can do their thing, and then when you choose, Dr. Doom can pop in when one of those Doombots is KO'd. So that's pretty cool. Depending on what the Doombots do, that can be super effective. His second trait is my robots often confuse my foes. That gives him leadership, mastermind. When Dr. Doom uses leadership and succeeds, instead of the normal effect, you may generate a number 5 Doombot. So when he does get it onto the map, then he's going to have leadership and the chance to generate more Doombots. So again, can't wait to see what they do, because he has the ability to throw out the 2 to start with and then generate more once he himself is on the map. Like we mentioned before, he's coming in at 95 or 45 points. If you do that additional 5-point add-on, then your build total would get that to a 100 and a 50. Remember that those add-on points do not change Dr. Doom's actual point value. He's still a 95-point character and a 45-point character for anything that looks for character points. He has a 6-range dual target coming in if you play him on the higher click with run and shot pulse wave, which is a fantastic combination, made even better with his 12 attack value. He has an 18 defense with toughness and 3 damage outwit. That then changes to sidestep, energy shield, enhancement with energy explosion. But if somebody KOs that Doombot, you bring him in on that top click. Run and shot pulse wave is going to be very good. The run and shot is great with pulse wave because you can reposition to try to get that single target. Now this Doom does not fly, so you'll have to keep that in mind. But a 6 range on pulse wave, you would cut that in half to a 3. His 9 movement becomes a 5, so you can move 5 and then pulse wave out 3 squares, hopefully getting a single target. 12 attack is very, very good, especially with pulse wave, because it gets past any energy shield type of boosts. And the 3 damage could be a tide turner, especially when Dr. Doom is coming in probably a couple rounds into the game. If you play him on the lower point value, he's still coming in with run and shot, but energy explosion this time. 11 attack with the energy explosion. He has the 17 defense with toughness, then that again drops to energy shield, and he'll have enhancement with 3 damage on that lower click. The ability to generate the Doombots, I'm going to suppose that they have some kind of range attack, so that enhancement can come in handy. He gets leadership rolls, generates Doombots, they then pick up enhancement to their ranged attacks. Overall, I think this Dr. Doom will see a lot of play. He's an uncommon, and for those types of abilities of what he has, I could see him on a bunch of different teams. People seem to like to play Dr. Doom, especially since he's been out of the game. Now this one should see a lot of play. Okay, we got Wizard next. Bentley is coming in with the Frightful 4 keyword, Scientist and Intelligentsia. I'm sure I butchered that. He has this trait, which is very good. He has formed the new Frightful 4. At the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. All replacement and replaced characters must have the Frightful 4 keyword and different names. The total points of the replacement characters can't exceed the total points of the replaced characters. So we've seen this on the Fantastic Four side of things, and now we're seeing this on the Frightful 4 side. This should give you a lot of versatility depending on what your opponent has across the map from you. You can switch out your characters to bring the proper skill set to the match. That is going to be a lot of fun to use, and I think it's a great take on the way you can switch around what's out there. So with call-in cards going away, this gives you a different way to bring multiple things with you and then be able to adjust to what's across from you. His second trait is another Frightful 4 trait. It gives friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword within range and line of fire have protected outwit. So again, you put together that Frightful 4 team, they're all bringing something to the table that we've seen so far. So you're going to have a lot of synergy between those characters, and it really builds up what your opponent can and can't do, and it boosts up what you're able to do. So giving your team protected outwit, as long as they stay within range and line of fire of wizard, is going to be pretty useful. His last thing that he's bringing that's special is his special damage power, which is leadership, outwit, perplex. When he uses leadership on a result of 4, choose outwit or perplex. This turn, wizard can use the chosen power twice. So that's pretty good. He's bringing outwit and perplex and leadership, so 3 great support type of powers. And then he gets a 5 or 6, then you're getting your leadership roll. He gets a 4, which a lot of times I would be wanting to happen even better than the leadership. He gets outwit or perplex again. So he could be having 2 outwits or 2 perplexes depending on the situation. Double perplex is great to bump up your attack or damage powers of values of your main attacker, and or wizard, because he's bringing some decent stats to the table too. Or double outwit, take away 2 powers of your opponent, and then your rest of your team can go to work on them. He's coming in with a 7 range single target. He flies. He has run and shot, 11 movement, which is a very far reach, 11 attack with precision strike, 18 defense with toughness, and then that special damage power with a 3 value. Again, 75 points for a reach of, you would have 6 and then 7, so a 13 reach for 75 points with a decent attack value. 11 is pretty good, and precision strike on top of that so that they can't reduce it below 1. That's pretty good. Should he get hit, it moves into the middle of his dial where he has 2 clicks of sidestep and TK. The energy shield takes that 17 and makes it a 19 from range, and then he has range combat expert. So those attack values are still decent, which means you could put both of his range combat expert into his damage to get that to a 4. 11 attack, 4 damage is pretty good. And then he ends his dial with 2 clicks of mind control. Still has his TK, the energy shield, and then he picks up just regular perplex with a 2 damage. So if you want to use them to mind control there at the end, you could bump up those attacks to an 11 and a 10 instead of a 10 and a 9. 75 points is a good value on this character, I think. Only thing he's missing is willpower, but for those points and what he has going on, I could see using him as a secondary attacker, keeping him back there to give your team protected outwit, some leadership, and then perplex and outwit kind of in the second ranks, and then have him turn into the attacker should you need it. Okay, overall, I am impressed with these 4 characters. I didn't think Skrull was going to be that great, but I like what he brings with that shape change. So each one of these 4 has something pretty cool going on. I'm really looking forward to the set. So far, the previews, everything's looked pretty good, and it's across all the different rarities. Hopefully you found this useful. Let me know your thoughts on these characters, and thanks for watching. All right, let's take a look at Doombot. He is number 5 of the set. He comes in with the Latverian armor and robot keywords. His special damage power is The real Doom or for all characters with this power, when a friendly character with the Latverian and Ruler keywords would be targeted by an opponent's attack or use of Outwit or Perplex, you may roll a d6, 4 through 6. That opponent chooses an untargeted Doombot to become the target instead. The new target must be legal, and you don't choose a power for Outwit until after a new target is chosen. So you'll want to pay attention to two pieces in there. The friendly character that's would be the target has to have both the Latverian and Ruler keywords. You have a 4 through 6, so 50-50 chance to roll out of that target, be it an attack, outwit, or perplex. So this is a fantastic way to preserve your main attacker. So you play somebody like Doom that has those two keywords. The Doombots are out there. Your main attacker is doing their attacks. Your opponent tries to attack them. You have a 50-50 chance that that attack doesn't even get to happen, that your opponent has to target one of these Doombots instead. The Doombots are coming in at just 15 points, which is a good trade-off if you want to leave your main attacker out there doing the most damage that they can. The counterattacks get pushed off onto the Doombot. Worst case scenario, they get hit and KO'd. You're giving up 15 points, but that preserves your main guy. Okay, the Doombot stats, they're coming in with a 5 range single target. They fly. They have 8 movement, 10 attack, energy explosion, 17 defense with toughness, so they do have a reducer there, and the special damage power on both their clicks. They're starting with a 3 damage. If you remember, Dr. Doom is going to have enhancement on his lower start click, and he can generate these Doombots on his leadership rolls. So you could have some enhancement around these guys. 8 movement becomes a 4 for run and shot and a 5 reach, so that gives you a total reach of 9 squares, which is good. 15 points is super cheap. They come in with the Minions of Doom team ability. With them just having 2 clicks, that might not come into play very much for them themselves, but if they happen to KO somebody, they can heal up other people with the Minions of Doom ability. So I could see a whole squad of Doombots with a Dr. Doom. I'm sure people will feel that. 15 points, common figure. People are going to want a ton of these to not only support their uncommon Dr. Doom that can generate them, but then just to build out a team with the Doombots themselves and a Dr. Doom, so even without the generation. All right, super cool figure. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Check it out. If you dig what we do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.